folks, welcome to Guitar Daily. It's Nick Granville. So today I thought I'd talk about something a little different, right? I've talked about minor pentatonic a fair bit on this channel. I mean, everybody does on YouTube, right? And it seems to be something that a lot of people struggle with. They get to this point where they can play a little bit and they got some minor pentatonic stuff going on, and then they're like, well, now I'm sick of minor pentatonic, right? That solo I played at the beginning there was all minor pentatonic. I don't think I played anything out of it. Well, I didn't intentionally if I did. And I did that on purpose to show that you can actually make effective guitar solos out of minor pentatonic, right? Most of the time what's lacking is the creativity behind it, right? And I think what that comes down to is people kind of just get stuck in their ways, right? So what they do when they practice is they almost have to reassure themselves that they can play, and they do so by playing the same old licks in the same old way, almost to reassure themselves that they can play. I don't know that that's necessarily a good way to approach practice. It's definitely not going to make you better. I mean, maybe it's better than doing nothing, don't get me wrong. But I think a better approach is to kind of practice creativity. So you might have noticed in the middle there, I played something where I kind of went... I don't know if it was that, it was something like that, right? Where I kind of did a note and then pulled it off to an open string. Not too dissimilar from... right, that classic AC/DC thing, right? So I took something that was like kind of classic rock vocabulary and I put it into the blues and I kind of... Right, so I kind of borrowed from somewhere else and put it into here. But something like that, we could practice creatively, couldn't we? With just E minor pentatonic, right? Even that. With playing the next string, two B notes, so D, B, B, E. It's not pentatonic. All of that was pentatonic, right? But I would probably surmise that many of you haven't thought about doing that, right? So there's just one idea, right? So and remember what you know the old saying, you are what you eat. Well, the same thing in music. What you practice is what is going to come out when you're truly in the heat of battle of playing music, right? So I find that I'm just going to check that. That's good. I find that I actively need to practice creativity, and the thing with that is that it's gonna sound bad, right? You're gonna play stuff that you're gonna go, oh, that's not great, that's not working for me. Good. It's forcing you into going somewhere new, right? If you just try and play well in your practice, then you're almost like trying to reassure yourself that you can play. And that's not necessarily getting you any better. So like that was one idea, that hammer-on, pull-off type approach with the open string. Another thing could be to do, I've talked about this a lot too, but taking an approach this way to the guitar. Instead of just like E minor pentatonic being this, maybe you'll go, right, which will make you phrase differently. I mean, I might tend to go, something I probably wouldn't do if I was playing within a position, right? So try and break out of that position thing. And again, practice this creatively, right? So here's an example. Here's just something I'm going to improvise. I haven't necessarily ever played that before, but that was an idea that just kind of came from try an approach, right? So when you practice creatively, try and practice certain approaches. So an approach might be this way. It might be this way, so starting from low strings, going to high strings, but going down the neck. Again, it's going to make me phrase differently, and it's kind of thinking out of the box, right? It's a good way to take the same kind of information that you already know, minor pentatonic, but get a whole lot of fresh new sounds. Another thing too that a lot of people forget about is guitar is one of the instruments that we can creatively, I'm having trouble with that word today. We can creatively kind of decorate notes in ways a lot of other instruments can't. Like say piano, for example. A pianist plays a note, they get the note, right? But we can go, we can also go, we can go, all kinds of ways. We can go, And that's without like changing my sound, right? Maybe if I turn my volume down, sounds totally different, right? So think about that. Like, how many ways can we embellish the notes to kind of get more out of the same things, right? And again, it's that idea of expanding your minor pentatonic. So say for example, I had I could go. There you go. So many ways I could do that. And again, I make a point of actively practicing that creativity, right? To be able to, so that when I truly am improvising, that these things, ideas come out in my playing. And in a unique kind of way, right? I think uniqueness is the most important thing. One of my favorite guitar players, as many of you will know, is Brian May. I'm doing the show We Will Rock You at the moment, so I get to play those Brian May guitar solos every night, which is so much fun. I love Brian's playing, he's killer. And one of the reasons I like his playing so much is nobody sounds like him, right? Right from the get-go, he went, well, I'm gonna make an instrument so that it will feed back and I can get that as part of my playing. So he like actively chased a certain sound. If you look at his phrasing, right, his phrasing is unlike anybody else. It's a different kind of take on it. To me, it's like I hear 2 or 3 notes and I know who it is, right? It almost sounds to me like someone singing through the guitar. And that's another thing you can do too, right? Is sing the notes that you play instead of... Right? Just try singing it while you play it. As soon as you sing, and it's not really about being a good singer. I'm definitely not a good singer. I don't like my voice at all. But as soon as you sing, now you're going to have to leave gaps and phrase in a certain kind of way. You're going to run out of breath, and so therefore you're going to have to leave like big spaces to catch your breath again, which you probably won't do when you play guitar. And so therefore it'll take your minor pentatonic playing to a whole nother level. I hope this has been useful. If it has, please like and subscribe. I post every day on YouTube. I've got I got a cool new guitar to show you tomorrow. It just arrived in the post today. I'm kind of checking it out and getting used to it. But as soon as I am, I will post that video tomorrow and I'll show you some stuff about it. It's pretty cool. It's very different. I bet none of you saw this coming. It's very different from what I normally play. But it's kind of exciting too. Anyway, I'll play out more of that kind of funky minor blues thing. I'm just going to stick to pentatonic on this and just play E minor pentatonic and see kind of which places I can go to.